What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Prophet Eneh. I'm a personal development and relationship coach. Basically, in this channel, we talk about love, relationship, Christian faith, and we have conversations about this thing. So, in today's video, we'll be looking at communication. So, I'm making a series on communication. I'll be looking at different areas that we need to touch in communication. But for today, we'll be looking at the four areas that makes up communication. So if you're interested, keep watching. Over the years, I've discovered that communication is a very, very important aspect in any relationship that will work. If you can't have successful communication in your relationship, that relationship is as good as dead. And I've discovered that not a lot of people know how to communicate in their relationship. Some people think it's just about coming, airing their opinions, saying stuff. Others think it's just about being in the same environment and having random communication. While all these things are great, while all these things are part of communication, there is more to it. There is more to communicating. So that's why in today's video, we'll be looking at these various areas that help us to ensure that we have actually communicated with our partner in that relationship. So let's dive in. The first area of communication that we'll be looking at today is speaking. Speaking is an aspect of communication that deals with airing out your opinion when it comes to a subject matter. And when you are sending out information too, there are different areas of communicating. There are the non-verbal form of communication and the verbal form of communication. When we're talking about the non-verbal form of communication, it includes hand gestures, body position, the tone you are using, the attitude you are giving, and so many things. Non-verbal means of communication are actually great. That's if you can actually read them correctly. If you can actually spot the unsaid word, if you can spot the pain in someone's voice, if you can spot the happiness, if you can spot the stress in their voice and everything. But we know that that's not always the case. We don't really find out all these things. That's why it's actually not very good to always communicate using this pattern. But then, if we look at relationships today, we discover that oh, it's actually how so many people communicate in their relationship. They communicate with the non-verbal pattern of communication. And then when you look at it, study this relationship closely, you discover that they actually have a lot of misunderstanding. And this non-verbal means of communication can actually lead to a lot of assumptions in that relationship, which is not something you want to be running your relationships on. A lady told a story about her behavior when she newly got married to her husband. She usually goes to the bedroom, sits down, relax, probably when the husband gets back from work and he finishes eating his food, she goes into the bedrooms, relax, and she keeps feeling that the husband should come and make love to her or play with her in the room. But the husband ends up going to the sitting room, playing video games, and at the end of the day, she gets angry. She felt like the husband is supposed to know that she's inside the room, waiting for him to come and play with her and the rest. But then she discovered that when she actually said things, like when she explained this thing to the husband said, well, I didn't really know that that's what you were expecting. I really didn't know that you wanted me to come into the bedroom. I felt like you were inside resting after the long day you had and the rest. So it was when they started communicating, when they started using words to communicate their expectation, their feeling, that was when they were able to actually understand each other and avoid some certain things that would have messed up their relationship. When you speak, you make things clear. You tell your partner what you want and what you need. You tell them how you feel, what's making you feel that way, and your expectations of them. So it actually helps your partner to know how to help you best. But when you're not speaking to your partner, it ends up them making an assumption, maybe. The one thing I know about human beings is that we don't actually read minds. So it's very, very hard for someone to know how you are feeling. So speaking is a very, very important aspect of relationship. Before we look at the next point, I want to encourage you to please like this video if you're enjoying it, and also hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I upload another video. So let's keep going. The next one is listening. Wow, listening. When it comes to listening, this is where a lot of people fail in their relationship. A lot of people go into a relationship, they don't listen. You know, one thing about words is that We can hear anything anywhere. You can be passing and someone says something and the word sticks with you, but you just had it, but you weren't really paying any attention. But when it comes to listening, it requires you to pay maximum attention. But the problem we have a lot in today's relationship or in today's form of listening is that a lot of people just listen because they want to respond. So when you are talking to them, they're already making calculations on how they'll respond to you, what they'll say to defend themselves and the rest. But then, if you really want to achieve successful communication, you need to learn how to listen to understand your partner. You need to learn how to listen to understand the emotion. So this is me trying to tell you that listening is beyond hearing what is being said. Listening goes deep as understanding the reason why it's being said and understanding the emotion behind what's being said. It's very, very deep. That's why we call it active listening. You listen and you are carefully examining what the person is saying. In relationship, it is only when you are able to listen to what your partner is saying, that is when you'll be able to apply the next step, which we'll be discussing, which is all about understanding. Understanding what is being said is very, very important. And if you want to successfully understand what your partner is saying, first of all, you have to listen. And when you listen, you have to think about what is being said. You have to analyze it. And how, when it comes to analyzing this thing, it means that you have to look at this situation, whatever is being discussed, you have to look at it from three different angles. You have to look at it from your partner's perspective, you have to look from it from your own personal perspective, and you have to look from it from the perspective of a third party. Because sometimes when we are involved in things, we tend not to see the loopholes, we tend not to see the errors, or we tend not to see how selfish we can become in that conversation. So sometimes it's best that you kind of try to take yourself off that conversation. Assume like you are someone came to you and laid that complaint to you and is asking for your advice. What will you advise that person? So this is how you are able to analyze the situation, to ensure that you are not being selfish, to ensure that you are not being cheated to ensure that you are not assuming, or to ensure that you are not taking things out of context. Because sometimes our loved ones, our partners might say something, and because we are already thinking about what to respond to them, we take it out of context. We miss the main information they are trying to pass across to us, and then assume what we feel like we want to understand. So understanding requires you to look at it from these three different aspects. And one mistake a lot of people make in this relationship and marriage is that sometimes their partner is repeatedly trying to tell them something, and they now see that as nagging. The reason is because you have not taken your time to listen to what is being said and why it's being said. Another thing is that you have not taken your time to analyze the situation, to understand it. Because when you do this and understand the situation, you know how what you are doing or what your partner is complaining about is affecting them. So when your partner speaks, it's important to listen. And when you listen, you are able to understand. And when you understand, that's what will lead you to the next point, which is taking actions. Actions. It's very, very important to take action, because you can't say you have successfully had a communication when after all this being said and you are not able to apply any of them. Taking action is a sign that you actually love the person you are with. Sometimes your partner might tell you, I don't like when you come back home late. First thing is for you to listen to them and understand why they. So an example can be because of the insecurity in the country, that they feel like something might happen to you and they don't want to lose you right now. So it's left for you to think about it, to analyze it, to understand their reasons for that, the emotion being communicated, and then you put it in action. Putting it in action is trying to tell them, okay, I heard what you said. Now I'm making corrections. Now I'm putting it into action. I'm going to be coming back very early this time around from this moment. So it's all about acting on what has been said, because sometimes we discover that people after talking, and they say they have heard you end up not doing anything. They end up not changing, because they didn't actually understand how important this thing is to their partner. They didn't actually understand how what they are doing is affecting their relationship. So it's very, very important for you to learn how to act on things. When you talk about something with your partner, try as much as possible to do what they said or what they suggested. Try as much as possible to understand the situation and then put it into practice. Act your way into it. I know that sometimes things are very, very hard for us to change. There are sometimes we want to change. There are sometimes we want to take actions. But then, because this has been habits that we have built up over the years, it seems like it's impossible. But the truth is that once you are intentional about it, once you are intentional about your partner's happiness, you always find a way. You always find a way to make things happen. You always find a way to put them first. You always find a way, because Characters are learned too, habits are learned too. So you can put a reminder for yourself to always come back on time, but you just have to learn how to put things into action. I believe this is very, very clear. I believe this is very, very clear that you understand what I'm trying to say. So there are four parts to this. You have to speak, you have to listen attentively, you have to try and understand whatever your partner is trying to communicate to you, and you have to put it into action. It is when you have accomplished these four steps, or we have done these four areas to communication, that's when you will say that okay, we have successfully had a successful conversation. So if you enjoyed this video, I would like you to subscribe, share, tag someone to come and watch this, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified. Also, try as much as possible to like this video, because liking this video helps us to get more views on this video if this video has been a blessing to you. So thank you very, very much for watching today's video. At the meantime, check out these two videos here, check it out, and you will learn a lot of things about relationships. See you in the next video.